Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Tonight on Our News, more shots in arms as the public vaccination program begins. The World Health Organization addressing concerns over the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. Plus, what had prison officers protesting today? Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, dozens of healthcare workers lining up to get vaccinated today as the first phase got underway at Princess Margaret Hospital. This as fewer than 200 healthcare workers have expressed interest in getting the jab so far. Our Jillian Gray tells us more.
For many of the healthcare workers vaccinated today, it was an easy decision to take the jab, as they say they want to get back to some sense of normalcy, and they see this as the way to do it.
I'm vaccinated, yay!
I want to bring some normalcy in my life. Visiting family members, especially my dad, he's 88 years old, and I need to be around him to take care of him. I have a son in the United States, I would like to visit him.
Marina Lightford is hypertensive and has lupus. She hasn't seen her son or father in a year and says she can't wait to hug them again. Being high risk and working in the healthcare sector was stressful, as she says just walking the halls made her timid. 40% of healthcare workers surveyed by the Ministry of Health said they'll be lining up to get vaccinated.
I'm tired wearing these masks, and I wanted to get back into some sort of normal life.
It felt great, after a year of lockdowns and curfews, to be in a position to start to be on that road to full redemption.
170 people across PMH, PHA, EMS, and SMA have expressed interest in taking the vaccine. While that's only a fraction of the staff complement, employees are encouraging each other to take the jab.
We figure here, working efficiently, we could minimum do 120 a day.
Okay. And do you have 120 today, or what's the number?
I think it falls just short of that today.
The exact number we understand is 50 for today's vaccination process.
I wasn't worried. The benefit of taking this vaccine outweighs the chance of getting a little clot.
The Bahamas secured 20,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine donated by the Indian government last week. Local officials say the vaccine process will continue as investigations are underway surrounding concerns over the vaccine's use in the European Union. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
Meanwhile, Doctors Hospital prepares to vaccinate its 900 associates starting tomorrow. Doctors Hospital Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sheena Antonio Colley says the registration site went live today.
Yes, I think our associates are definitely looking forward to the opportunity to have the vaccination. Definitely people want to be protected. They want to protect their loved ones. And so to have that opportunity, it is a individual choice. The institution it's not a mandatory thing for you to be vaccinated.
Doctors Hospital will also provide mobile services at Town Center Mall, Doctors Hospital West, and Centerville Medical Center. Dr. Antonio Colley had this advice for those still unsure about getting the vaccine.
Get the true information and not the anecdotes and not the reports. And so really look at the statistics, look at the worldwide statistics in terms of what's happening with each vaccine, with everything that you have to take, vaccination, medication. We want people to have the information that they need to make that decision and make it in a sensible way.
And the World Health Organization and Pan American Health Organization are maintaining that the benefits of AstraZeneca vaccine outweigh its risks. Giorgio Bain reports.
Some European countries have stopped the use of AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines due to reports of blood coagulation or clotting issues. WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus addressing the concerns in a recent briefing.
Since our last press conference on Friday, several more countries have suspended the use of AstraZeneca vaccines as a precautionary measure after reports of blood clots in people who had received the vaccine from 2 batches produced in Europe.
According to a WHO statement issued this morning, other countries in the EU have considered the same information and have decided to continue using the vaccine. The WHO says thromboembolic events occur frequently, and venous thromboembolism is the third most current cardiovascular disease globally. Meanwhile, PAHO is awaiting the final assessment of the data provided by the European Medical Association. Pan American Health Organization Incident Manager Dr. Sylvain Aldeguerri says the batches of the vaccine currently under review will not be distributed in the region.
PAHO needs to report that those 2 batches that are being reviewed in Europe are not going to be distributed through COVAX in the Americas, since the doses that were allocated to the COVAX mechanism in our region are produced in India and the Republic of Korea.
According to the incident manager, with no indication of health concerns connected to the vaccine in the region, the continued use is recommended.
WHO recommends to continue using the AstraZeneca vaccine to address COVID-19 pandemic, as investigations are underway for the European cases, and we do not anticipate an impact on the distribution through the COVAX facility.
According to the WHO, the occurrence of adverse events following immunization doesn't necessarily mean that the events are linked to the vaccination itself, but it's a good practice to investigate them. Reporting for our News, I'm Georgie O'Bain.
In other news, Minister of State for Finance Kwesi Thompson insisting in the Senate today that things are looking up for multiple Grand Bahama projects. Jasmine Brown has that.
The State Minister for Finance led debate on the mid-year budget in the Senate. At the beginning of his remarks, he admitted that he is fully aware that there is a lot of work still to be done on Grand Bahama, but he was quick to insist there is good news. While the sale of the Grand Lucayan Hotel has yet to be finalized, Thompson says the government which purchased the hotel in 2018 is continuing to press forward with the deal.
It has been a long and difficult road, but we believe that it is in the best interest of the Bahamian people.
The property closed following Hurricane Matthew in 2016, and only one hotel, Lighthouse Point, was opened at the time of the government's purchase. By March 2020, Lighthouse Point was closed. Now it's set to reopen on March 25th.
There will be a component of 71 employees, and that the number of employees is expected to increase as the hotel occupancy increases.
As for the Grand Bahama International Airport, Thompson says the transaction is in the final stages of being completed.
After acquisition, and with the assistance of the Department of Aviation, we will issue an RFP globally to find the best fit partner to plan, develop, finance, and operate the new Grand Bahama International Airport.
Thompson confirmed the minister's administration has committed to spending $1.5 million to restore GBIA. Reporting for our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Partly cloudy skies in the capital today. Greg Thompson has a look at our current conditions.
Thanks, Christina. Meteorologist Greg Thompson with your Wednesday evening weather. Beautiful conditions outside our studios. Temperatures still a little on the warm side, 75 degrees. Just a few clouds outside our studios. Your winds are out of the southeast at 9 knots, and your feels like temperature in the mid-70s. Satellite view around the area. Quiet across the islands. High pressure remains a dominant weather feature. That high is starting to back out towards the east, but we still have that east to southeasterly flow, bringing a few spotty showers across the islands, but a very nice evening setting up. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our News, we'll tell you why some students on Eleuthera are protesting and prison officers demand action. That's coming up when our News returns.
Okay? No. Yeah, I got. That's supposed to happen.
Listen. Wait. Where's your heart? Where is your compassion? Do you have a soul?
Hey, Jimbo, clear my schedule for the rest of the day, eh?
Where do you go, boy? Here, bro. And what are the chances we can actually operate on the patient? Come on, man. Surgery will begin in 2300 hours, okay?
So we do our rampus, right?
Silly girls, pretty girls, ghetto girls, pretty girls, kind girls, funny girls, yeah, we got all kind of girls.
T on the track, T on the mic. First I was in the Honda, now on the bike. I tell her hop one back, she holding on my back. I threw the wide back, straight back, 12 o'clock. Too much girls to choose from, like any, many, mighty more.
Tempers flared at a South Eleuthera primary school today as a group of parents protested over the lack of teachers. Kyle Joaquin is on the island and has more.
This group of parents say they've had it with the substitute teachers who they claim have been stretched thin, and they would like to see more permanent teachers at the school.
They had the grade 5 substituted with a PE teacher. Not only is he not equipped to handle the workload or teach our children, but he also has to be a PE teacher for other schools in the South Eleuthera district.
Parents say their children have had to settle for substitute teachers semester after semester as 3 grades went without a substantive teacher at Whimspite Elementary. PTA President Edwin Thompson says they've had enough as it's now affecting the students still attending school using the hybrid model.
It is a shame. It is a disgrace. It is an embarrassment that we have to do this. We do not want substitute teachers.
3 teachers, not 1, not grade 5 only. You got grade 2 and catering this in the teacher. We need our teachers.
That PE teacher who bounces between schools and has had to fill in as a regular teacher for one of the grades pulled up while we were there. But some students got in on the protest as well.
We need teachers. We need teachers.
And these parents meant business, calling the district superintendent, demanding more teachers.
Okay, Mr. Coleman, I can tell you, if we don't get our teachers by Monday, we'll be back out here again. So.
We allow them to know that this school have a problem, and we, the parents and the people, will not stand by and make you believe that it's okay. Someone can give you pee to drink, but you ain't got to drink and pretend it's wine.
This grandmother, visibly upset, says they are now tired of complaining.
Knowledge is power. This is the education of our children. And we need to stand together and let you all know we ain't gonna sit down and take it because it ain't okay.
Only 4 or 5 teachers up there, they working hard. You have no respect for those teachers. Even I believe even the principal have to teach now. That's not her job.
District Superintendent Michael Culmer tells Our News a supply teacher will be sent Thursday morning for the 5th grade, and the entire class will be brought in for face-to-face instruction 5 days per week until the end of the school year. He says another teacher is also expected shortly. From Eleuthera for Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Well, senior prison officers had to watch the inmates at the Bahamas Department of Corrections as officers demonstrated outside. Jared Higgs tells us more.
Bind us together, Lord, bind us.
Dozens of officers from the Bahamas Department of Corrections demanding action on long overdue appointments and promotions, as well as a general sense that prison officers are overlooked compared to other law enforcement.
Every day we go behind this gate, we sacrifice and risk our lives. Our lives on the line, not knowing if we're going to return home. And we can't get what is due to us. Come on.
President of the Correctional Officers Staff Association, Corporal Hervey Culmer, led the nearly 100-strong group. He says dozens of officers are due appointments and promotions, some dating 5 years back. The lack of action has resulted in a decline in morale.
We've been very patient. We've understood Hurricane Dorian, we've understood COVID, but when you're going to tell us that there's no funding because of COVID-19 and Hurricane Dorian, but give our brothers and sisters in law enforcement their due diligence. You need to give us what is due to us also.
With staff outside, senior officers were left to watch over the prison. As Commissioner of Corrections Charles Murphy left the compound, some shouted for the officers not to move. However, he was able to pass. Eventually, though, officers took their message directly to the Ministry of National Security. They ultimately dispersed without getting an audience with the minister. Culmer says his officers are being persistent because their jobs are demanding.
If you ask any of our counterparts in law enforcement, none of them would put down their guns and come behind you and do what we do. No guns, just guts. No guns, just guts. No one can do what we do.
Officers had a courtesy call with Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis back on February 1st. Culmer hoped Dr. Minnis would be able to direct attention to their plight, but before today, nothing had been done.
We went to the minister, we went to the public service, and then we went to the Prime Minister. All the doors we've knocked on, we've gotten no answers.
Calmer says the officers are willing to take action until something is done. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
And dozens of employees at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas staging a lunchtime protest after they claimed some $100 was taken out of their pay without their consent. Bethany McDermott reports.
In essence, exactly what management did is they stole your money. They stole your money.
Operations at the Broadcasting Corporation coming to a halt today after more than 36 members of the BCPOU and the BCPMU walked off the job during their lunch hour. According to BCPOU President Dino Rule, the corporation is now requiring employees to pay 20% of their insurance package, or about $100 monthly. He says the money was deducted without workers' consent, adding that they only found out when paid this week.
GGM of HR and their new fellow on the block was seated right there, and they were told, listen, you have to go back, sit down with the unions and come to an agreement.
However, Roll says the union is standing firm and will not be bullied. Roll says it's a slap in the face, as he says they have tried to work with the corporation throughout the pandemic. Union leaders say they now plan to take this matter to court.
We've already spoken with our counsel, and we're going to be seeking the court an injunction against management here in the next couple days.
Union leaders also questioning the corporation's rationale that it's strapped for cash when they say there were a few recent hires.
The subvention was cut. First you look at, do we have training that we need to cut back on? Travel maybe cut back on? And then we look and we see you hired a consultant who is also an attorney. So obviously he doesn't come cheap.
According to Roll, there are some pressing health issues that the union is also facing.
We have a situation in this building on Third Terrace where we are more than certain that this building is laced with mold.
When contacted, BCB Executive Chairman Fred Gottlieb said a statement will be released soon. Reporting for Our News, I'm Bethany McDermott.
When Our News returns, 13 candidates ratified for the PLP, and Marcellus Hall has the hottest sports highlights. The details when Our News returns.
Are you okay?
No. Yeah, I got. That's supposed to happen.
Listen. Wait. Where's your heart? Where is your compassion? Do you have a soul?
Hey, Jimbo, clear my schedule for the rest of the day, eh?
There you go, boy. Here, bro. And what are the chances we can actually operate on the patient? Come on, man. Surgery will begin in 2300 hours, okay?
So we do our rappers, right? These rappers, man.
Silly girls, pretty girls, ghetto girls, pretty girls, kind girls, funny girls, yeah, we got all kind of girls.
T on the track, T on the mic. First I was in the Honda, now on the bike. I tell her hop one back, she holding on my back. I chew the wide back, straight back, 12 o'clock. Too much girls to choose from, like any mini mighty mo.
This is Our News. Welcome back. The National General Council of the Progressive Liberal Party last night ratifying 13 candidates for the next general election, bringing the party's slate of candidates up to 31 so far. Among them, 4 incumbents and 9 newcomers. Only 3 of the newly ratified are women. Pia Glover-Roll is one of the few women ratified by the major political parties so far.
One thing I find that is critical right now is restoration of dignity, and I think that is something as a woman that I have an innate ability to do, and so that is what I am bringing to the table as a woman. Of course, I'm going to be involved in terms of speaking on equity, equal rights for genders, protection of rights for women and girls.
Glover-Roll says she has a plan to restore hope in the community of middle and working class Bahamians she aspires to represent.
Ensuring that I provide access to the business owners to restore their businesses, to bring their businesses back to a place of sustainability, networking, access to capital, and the overall picture of restoring hope to the community.
Hope is on the horizon for Vaughn Miller, who will represent the party in Golden Isles. Miller faced critics at the branch level before securing the nomination last night. Miller was elected as a member of the Free National Movement in the 2017 general election and crossed the floor to join the PLP back in September 2020.
Want to finish the vision, and it's all about empowering the people. People are hurting, people are challenged, people are really going through some difficult and some challenging times.
Senator Dr. Michael Darville last night securing the ratification for the Tall Pines constituency over former Representative Leslie Miller. Darville says he plans to bring the constituency back to the PLP.
Oh, this election is going to be a very difficult one. I'm beginning to realize from what I'm beginning to see on social media, it's going to be nasty, and we in the Progressive Liberal Party are prepared to deal with whatever circumstances come.
Darville says he will remain focused on the issues. Based on the current boundaries, there are 39 seats up for grabs in the next general election. Well, Jazz Chisholm battling for a spot on the Florida Marlins opening day roster. Marcellus Hall has the details.
Hi, thanks a lot, Christina. Welcome to our sports, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Spring is in the air, and that means, of course, baseball time. Major League Baseball camps have opened up. Spring training is underway, and now the battle for opening day spots on the roster is officially underway. We have one Bahamian right now looking to gain his spot with the Florida Marlins. That, of course, Jazz Chisholm. The battle is ongoing. Let's take a look at his progress. With spring training already underway and opening day set for April 1st, Bahamian Jazz Chisholm hoping to build on momentum he generated in his Major League debut last season in 2020, using that to secure a spot on the Florida Marlins opening day roster for 2021. Currently, Jazz battling it out with Isan Diaz for the second base job. Jazz, who hit 200, has the slight edge on Diaz, who hit just 125 last season. But according to league sources, the Marlins still want to see improvement from both guys before making a final decision. The Marlins love Chisholm's skill set, but are leery of his long uppercut swing, which has led to a lot of strikeouts. But they are pleased that on the defensive end, he has shown the ability to make all the plays. And that's your check on sports for you here on this Hump Day Wednesday. I'm Marcellus Hall. Back to you.
Still to come, Greg is back in the Weather Center and police give back to the community. Stay with us.
Are you okay?
No. Yeah, I got. That's supposed to happen.
Listen. Wait. Where's your heart? Where is your compassion? Do you have a soul?
Hey, Jimbo, clear my schedule for the rest of the day, eh?
Who do you go, boy? Yeah, bro.
And what are the chances we can actually operate on the patient? Come on, man. Surgery will begin in 2300 hours, okay?
So we two are rappers, right? These rappers, man.
Silly girls, pretty girls, ghetto girls, pretty girls, kind girls, minded girls, yeah, we got all kind of girls.
T on the track, T on the mic. First I was in the Honda, now on the bike. I tell her hop on back, she holding on my back. I threw the wide back, straight back, 12 o'clock. Too much girls to choose from, like any, many, mighty more.
Welcome back to our news. Looks like a pleasant week ahead. Greg is over in the Weather Center with the forecast.
Thanks again, Christina, and a happy Wednesday evening, everybody. Beautiful day around the islands once again as the high-pressure system remains in charge. That high doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere anytime soon. It's actually going to slide out towards the east very gradually. That'll keep all the systems to the north of us. We have a low-pressure system in the Atlantic and another one across the southeastern United States. Tail end of this one will get in here sometime on Friday, so we could see a couple of showers and a slight cool down for the weekend. Your boating forecast for the northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the southeast to south at 15 to 20 knots. Seas running 4 to 6 feet. A caution flag posted for you there. While in the central and southeastern islands, your wind will be more east to southeasterly at 15 to 20 knots. Seas running 4 to 6 feet, but up to 8 feet in some moderate swells. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Monday. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe Wednesday night, everybody. Christina?
Thanks, Greg. Well, police handing out 200 care packages to Gambier Village residents, part of an initiative in the community. Commissioner of Police Paul Roll says this year police dug deep to give back.
What we have done is ask each officer to bring in an item. And so for the last 2 months, 6 weeks, 2 months or thereabouts, officers have been going into their cupboards at home, going into the grocery stores, purchasing items and bringing them.
Residents of Gambier say they appreciated the donations.
This box will do a great help for me, yeah, and I appreciate it.
The NIB benefit, yeah, $200 every 2 weeks. It's something, but to maintain a household, it does nothing. So this means a lot.
Last year, police say they received more than $1 million to help give back to the community. Well, thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas. A new episode of the new Sawyer Boy TV show is up next.